Your morning coffee, your smartphone, the shoes on your feet, they all started their journey to your local store on a ship like this one. Stand on the bridge of a container ship 200 feet above the Pacific and look down at containers stretching nearly a quarter mile ahead of you. Each one of those steel boxes could contain the electronics that'll stock Best Buy next month, or the components for cars rolling off assembly lines in Detroit. This is a 24,000 TEU ultra-large container ship, a floating warehouse carrying 240,000 metric tons of cargo across 6,800 miles of open ocean. That's enough weight to equal 120,000 cars managed by just 25 people. Roughly 25 humans controlling a mechanical giant worth more than most small countries' annual budgets. It's a paradox that defines modern global trade. The most complex supply chain in human history depends on fewer people than work at your neighborhood grocery store. But before we understand how so few control so much, we need to grasp the sheer mechanical reality of what they're operating. This isn't just a ship. It's a floating power plant that happens to carry cargo. The main engine alone generates 78,000 horsepower, enough to power a small city. That's more electricity than 50,000 homes use in a day. The numbers define the impossible. 1,300 feet long, 200 feet wide, and when fully loaded, this vessel displaces more water than a Manhattan skyscraper weighs. The fuel tanks hold 4,500 tons of marine gas oil, enough to fill 300 semi-truck tankers. Every day at sea burns through 250 tons of fuel, powering not just propulsion, but the refrigeration systems keeping thousands of containers at precise temperatures. From Shanghai to Los Angeles, 6,800 miles across the Pacific, this mechanical city maintains 22 knots for 14 straight days. The propeller alone weighs 130 tons and spins with enough force to create a whirlpool 50 feet wide. The navigation systems process data from 47 different sensors, tracking everything from wave height to engine temperature to GPS coordinates accurate within 3 feet. The electrical grid powering this floating city generates 9 megawatts, enough to supply 7,000 American homes. Air conditioning, lighting, cargo refrigeration, navigation computers, communication systems, they all run 24 hours a day for 2 weeks straight without a single power outage. The ship's main engine is a single block of cast iron 87 feet long and 44 feet tall, taller than a 4-story building. When it starts up cold, it takes 12 hours to reach operating temperature. Once running, it doesn't stop for the entire 14-day crossing. This mechanical marvel needs human operators, but not where you'd expect them to be. Roughly 25 people don't crowd around a single control room. They scatter across 3 specialized departments that never overlap. The bridge team handles navigation and communication. The engine department manages propulsion and power systems. The deck crew secures cargo and maintains the hull. Each operates independently, connected only by radio and strict protocols. The bridge runs on 8-hour watch rotations, 4 people maximum at any time. One officer monitors radar and GPS systems. Another tracks weather patterns and shipping traffic. A third manages communication with ports and other vessels. The fourth handles course corrections and speed adjustments. They work in silence, speaking only when systems require human intervention. 4 decks below, the engine room operates with different rhythms. Chief engineers monitor fuel consumption, temperature gauges, and electrical output. They rarely communicate with the bridge unless something breaks. Their world is mechanical precision: oil pressure, bearing temperatures, generator loads. The captain doesn't steer the ship or manage the engines. Instead, he coordinates between departments, approves course changes, and handles emergency decisions. He's a conductor orchestrating 3 separate orchestras that rarely play the same song. During normal operations, he might speak to his crew for less than an hour per day. But the most surprising thing isn't how they work, it's how they live for 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere. Imagine feeding 25 people 3 meals a day for 14 days without a single grocery run. The galley stocks 2,200 pounds of frozen meat, 350 pounds of rice, and enough canned goods to fill a small warehouse. The ship's cook, one person, prepares 75 meals every single day, from breakfast at 0600 to midnight snacks for the night watch. Fresh vegetables last exactly 4 days before they spoil. After that, it's frozen, canned, or dried everything. The crew eats the same rotation of meals every week. Monday is always chicken, Tuesday is beef, Wednesday brings fish. By day 10, everyone knows exactly what's coming for dinner. There's no internet, no streaming services, no social media. The satellite communication system handles navigation and emergency calls only. Personal calls cost $15 per minute. Recreation means a small gym with 3 machines, a library with 200 books in 4 languages, and a TV that plays the same 50 DVDs the ship has carried for 3 years. Sleep becomes the enemy of operations. The bridge requires constant manning. Someone must watch the radar and radio 24 hours a day, but engine noise never stops. Ventilation systems run continuously. The ship's movement creates a constant rocking that some crew members never adjust to. Night watch officers work alone for 8 hours straight, monitoring systems while 24 other people sleep. Modern container ships carry enough food for 30 days, but have no backup communication if satellite systems fail. Crews navigate by stars and paper charts as emergency protocol. The psychological challenge isn't boredom. It's isolation combined with absolute responsibility. One navigation error could cost millions in delays. One engine failure could strand 240,000 metric tons of cargo in the middle of the Pacific. This human system works so well that it's created an economic paradox most people never realize. Do the math. 12,000 40-foot containers at $3,062 each equals roughly $37 million in freight value. Roughly 25 people managing $37 million in freight value across 6,800 miles of ocean. That's $1.5 million in freight value managed per crew member. Yet shipping companies haven't automated these crews away. Despite having the technology, autonomous ships exist. They've been tested successfully in controlled conditions. Computer systems can monitor engines, adjust course, and communicate with ports. So why do humans still control these floating cities? The answer lies in crisis management. When a typhoon hits, algorithms follow programmed responses. Humans adapt in real time. When engine systems fail hundreds of miles from shore, computers run diagnostics. Humans jury-rig solutions with spare parts and decades of experience. When pirates approach off Somalia, automated systems call for help. Human crews take evasive action while coordinating with naval forces. It's a paradox worth standing with for a moment. Climb back up to that bridge, 200 feet above the Pacific, 4 people on watch, containers stretching to the horizon. Below them, somewhere down in the engine room, one engineer is checking oil pressure. In the galley, the cook is starting tomorrow's bread. The captain is asleep. The vessel maintains 22 knots toward Los Angeles, and not one of these 25 people is doing anything visibly heroic. That's the point. The system is designed for boredom, because boredom means everything is working. If you want to see who actually owns the cargo these crews move, watch our breakdown of the 3 companies that control most of global container shipping. The most expensive cargo ships in history, worth hundreds of millions each, still depend on the oldest navigation technology, human judgment. Because when you're moving half the world's manufactured goods across the largest ocean on Earth, the most sophisticated backup system isn't artificial intelligence. It's 25 people who've spent their careers learning that the ocean doesn't follow algorithms.